looking at me.
You're talking over my intro already. All right, you guys, welcome to a very special edition of I'm super excited with Rory James. We're not in the usual studio in my home, as you can tell. I'm on the road this week, and we have a very special guest. But before we get into that, I just want to quickly plug a date that just got confirmed. Tickets just went on sale for, which is I am headlining the Boston Comedy Studio on July 11th. Now, that is, of course, my hometown. And so get tickets now because I don't know that they'll last forever. So do that. You can go to Boston Comedy Studio's website or my socials, and I'll see you in July. This week on the program, we have a very funny comedian, and let's just get into it. His name is Caleb Meringue. Welcome, Caleb.
A Zerang, actually. So accurate but hurtful. Thank you so
Well, here's the
much.
thing. Now, here's the thing: is that your socials are, I thought, were a play on merengue.
Well, I pronounce it meringue, which is weird, but that's how they say it in New
Okay.
Orleans.
Well,
So,
this is
maybe
off
you're
to a
being
great
raised,
start.
well, it's the North versus the South, which we do not want to relitigate. The North wins. So, you know what? Let's say merengue. Let's
Did you
say
just
that.
declare another civil war? I thought we were trying to
Um,
avoid
I
that.
think we've all been saying that for the past few years now, right? So it's
How
the
often
Northern
does
and
somebody
Southern
get your
gays.
How often does somebody get your last name wrong?
Literally almost every time in my entire
So,
life, for
I bet it's
sure.
super annoying when you're like going up on stage and the MC gets it wrong.
Yeah, most of the time I will head it off and I will tell them. So I apologize. That is a very Southern me thing to do, to apologize for you getting my name wrong, isn't it?
And it's a very Boston thing for me to immediately blame you.
Yeah, hey, fuck you. Well, I'm a former New Yorker, so I hang with that. I love East Coast people. So
Well,
yeah.
I want to get into your
Con-
origin in a second, but
yeah.
usually whenever I have a comic on, I like to start off with a comedy hot topic
Okay.
because I feel like it's a fun icebreaker and it's a fun way to jump into the show. And you don't need any background on this, but last night the Kevin Hart Netflix roast aired. I didn't see it yet, but I saw clips on social media, and from what I've seen, Chelsea Handler won the night.
Hell
There were
yes.
some. Have you seen anything of that?
No, but I know that Kevin Hart got roasted for not having like any gay people in the finals and Funny AF by one of the comics, and I loved that because there's that whole thing about how he like was super homophobic back in the day, right? And I just ruined both our careers, so I'm so sorry about
No,
that.
no, I don't think I don't. This
Because
is
Kevin Hart was going to hire us, two white gays. You know what I mean?
listen. If I would take that gig. The point is
Yeah.
that the let's see how often we can put our feet in our mouths this episode. But
Perfect.
I want to give you some of the Chelsea Handler material. This was one of the because with a roast, obviously there's the person we're roasting, but then you get to roast anybody else who's on the dais. So the first joke is directed directly at Kevin, and she says, "The first time I met Kevin was almost 20 years ago. I remember thinking, what is 50 Cent's dick doing walking around all by itself?" That's good.
Oh, that's such a good Chelsea Handler joke. Yeah.
But I don't know when she's gonna stop talking about her relationship with 50 Cent. But if I had a relationship with 50 Cent, I would never stop talking about it either.
Did she date 50 Cent?
Yes, like 20 years ago, they were in a relationship for like an extended, like a period of time. And then, of course, if you're a comic, then you just had, like, that's material forever.
Do you feel like she like still loves 50 Cent for how like much he roasts Diddy? Because he is just roasting Diddy like all the time, right?
Well,
Like he
50 Cent
paid
is
for that
interesting.
documentary and
Yeah, he's
everything.
interesting. He's interesting because he's really mean. But there is, but like when it's like that sort of like when the asshole's on when the bully's on your side or on the
Right.
right side, then it's okay. But it's weird because he has this like inherent soft spot for Chelsea.
Oh,
She'll go after him for like saying like that he likes Trump or whatever, and then he'll like instead of like ripping her, he calls her by like cute nicknames they used to call each other. It's a very strange relationship.
it's kind of hot. Haven't we all liked a mean guy? Like I like a mean guy every now and then.
and I do like a rapper with prison muscles. So
Well, yeah, and you told me that before we started, actually. So,
did
yeah.
I? Was this when we were messaging?
This was when we were DMing on the apps, as they say, the galleries.
Well, now you're making it sound like that we have a completely different backstory.
No, we
You
don't.
are, you are misleading the audience.
I know, and we're no budding very well right now. So apologies.
This is a great rules of improv. Um, so no, okay, so I just thought that was a great joke because of her history with him, and also I love a visualization joke, and of course because of course Kevin Hart is short jokes.
Yeah.
People have been doing them for forever. It's hard to come up with an original one, but I always like when somebody takes a tired premise and does something new with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like, what was I going to say? I had something smart and it's gone. Nope, nothing. Great
Then,
podcasting.
then it probably wasn't that smart. Um,
I
so
do want to say your voice is such a good voice. You have such a good radio voice. Like
Dude,
it's
thank you so much.
excellent.
Hold on, my pen ran out, but I want to hold this compliment. Hold on.
Okay.
So, because now we're saying nice things to each other as opposed to before.
I know.
So, all
I'll
right.
be mean again if you want. I can go back to East
Um,
Coast love.
no, I like compliments. So,
Okay.
uh, thank you for the voice thing. But no, I think that okay. So I want to tell you the next joke. Next joke, because then she turns towards Tony Hinchcliffe, and oh, we have an audio of this one because it's a really professional podcast, you guys.
Nice.
Hold on. We're gonna do it right. Here we go.
Bringing
And
Rydia
did
back,
you know
right?
that I don't know how to pronounce anything? The comedy festival that was the big controversy that starts with an R? How do you say it?
I say Rydia. I hope that's like Nvidia, and it's probably wrong.
Well,
And
and you are no, because I would have said yeah, Raida. I would because you're actually an expert in Middle Eastern pronunciation, so that's
that's
why I asked.
correct. That was also something we talked about before the
Okay,
podcast.
well now we're both gonna feel really stupid. It's
What is
Riyadh.
it?
It's Riyadh.
Oh man, we should have texted our Persian friends to ask them, even though that's not Persia. They,
Oh my God, that's gonna be the episode title. We're both gonna be really embarrassed.
yes,
Um, okay, but that was a good joke, right? Because it was topical and it was because
it's your favorite.
everyone
A
was
tired premise made fresh again, right?
well, because everyone was so mad, but I don't think anybody was making really good jokes about that. I think everyone was just really upset that people were taking checks from the Saudi government
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
sets over there, and so I do think it's also that like uh, controversy plus time. You can laugh at it more now. Um,
Doesn't
so
it feel
okay,
like that was 8,000 years ago now at this point? That's like, I'm
well,
like,
because
where
there's
was
always a
that?
new controversy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last joke I wanted to tell you from that roast was so that was directed at Tony Hinchcliffe, who, of course, of Kill Tony infamy and Trump rally infamy. And
Mhm.
she turned towards Tony and she said, "You look good. You got a little Hollywood glow up. I didn't know veneers came in deli mustard yellow." Now I like that one because you don't that's not even a joke for a famous comic. That could be a classic open mic knock, you know?
Yeah. Are you a roaster by background? Like, do you do roast a lot?
Beautiful question. No. Um,
Okay.
it-
No. Hard no. Absolutely not.
well, here's the thing is for a long time I didn't get into stand-up comedy because I thought it was just such a mean space and a straight white male dominated space, and I just felt like it just didn't feel like safe or welcoming. And then
Yeah.
when I started doing like I count like the beginning of me like really being a serious comic being like 2015, so like a little
Hmm.
over 10 years ago. And at that time, everything was getting so political, and I'm very politically engaged and have strong political opinions. It's not me at my funniest. It's not
Yeah.
because I'm not having fun. I'm pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was something I learned really early on stage is like if I'm jokey mad, it's hilarious. If I'm actually mad, everyone's nervous because it's
Yeah.
like because the Boston guy is mad. It's like that it isn't funny. And so roasts always felt like I and here's the other thing too is like in a real life conflict with somebody who has done something that has justifiably pissed me off, I can be mean.
Yeah.
And I'm not always proud of it, but I know I have it in me. And I don't want to I feel like I would be at risk of going to biting too hard. Last reason is I hate when gay men make their whole personality being a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'm sure
that's
you've seen a lot.
it's very easy for us to do that, right? Like, I feel like gay humor is very catty, general. Like, are you a RuPaul person? Because, like, I love RuPaul, and I also struggle with how mean they used to be on the show to each other, too. And I feel like the tone has changed over the years, actually, which is nice to see.
Well, I mean, isn't that probably the origin of the term dragging somebody? You know what I mean?
Oh, let's
it's
find out. No, kid.
yeah. Or let's just say we're right. But
Okay.
like, I think because to me, successful, like when you drag somebody and you really like that, which is gay roasting, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's most useful as like a defense. Like I feel like it's most useful when like it's a homophobic situation or it's like the underdogs coming together situation. I don't like it when it's like gay on gay crime and it's like like going back to what I was saying before. It's like it becomes one's personality. However, what I will tell you is that I have secretly written roast jokes for other comics
Oh.
to do and I loved it because okay, so I was working on my special and
Hmm.
I was writing with a comic and who was helping me with my special and he was about to do a roast and he was like, "Can I just like run some of these by you?" And I had so much fun like riffing off of them and like giving him ideas back. Like a great example was like the other comic he was in the roast battle with was his dad had like witnessed and survived 9/11 and I think I like the joke was something I'm not going to get it right, but it was like something to the effect of like Kevin's dad saw his comedy and said it was the most tragic thing he's ever seen, and Kevin's dad was at 9/11, like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I think I liked it too because it was like I didn't know the person, so I didn't get like too venomous. It was just like just give me the facts and I can construct something about that. But let me ask you how you feel about roasts.
I want to get better at them. I've done one once at Cobb's, and I was too mean out the gate. And that was a real tragic lesson that my boyfriend did tell me not to do. He's like, you should do like the drag race style where it's like a compliment and then a knife. And I would just went full tilt booty, and it was against a woman. Did not go well. And she was fine with all the jokes. I ran them by her. We were like, is there anything off limits? And we're like, no. She kicked my ass. Her name's Melissa Christine, very funny Bay Area comic. I have been scared to do it since then, but I
So
am taking a
how long
roasting
ago was that?
class. That was like a year ago. And Nikki Glazer's episode of Kevin Hart, the funny AF, actually inspired me to go back to do it. And then John Marco Cerezi, he says that really helps with your joke writing. So I do want to get better at it. I think it's a good skill and it helps you do tight joke writing concepts.
Yeah, and I think also. So wait, I haven't watched Funny AF. It's like it's Kevin Hart hosting a roast battle essentially.
No, that's so funny. So you've watched like you have the Kevin Hart jokes, but you haven't watched the show yet. It's really interesting. They go through
Well, no,
like
his is the well, it's a
he has a
this
separate roast.
yeah 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 exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So the show is like that you find the best comic, and they do, of course, just a typical stand-up set. But then they also do like specialty ones, like a roast and a crowd work episode, which I think is
Mhm.
a pretty cool idea. It's like different disciplines of comedy that you have to be
Right.
good at. Yeah.
So okay, so 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 essentially you can so this is something that we're actually relating on, which is that you understand what it's like to accidentally go too far.
Yeah,
In
but I would also say I also relate to you in that it's really I would say it's fun for me in my words to write evil sometimes for other people because I've written
yes.
for straight dudes and they're a little different on their topics, I would say, and it has been a little fun to write that way. I'm like I would never say this. I don't subscribe to it, but there is a like viewpoint out there that they might have about certain things. And I'm like, oh, that is interesting to kind of do as a writing exercise. I think that's like the best and worst about comedy is you can say anything and like try to get away with anything. And it's all a matter of craft and like how you do it and not punching up. Right. I think that's
Right.
like the really
We're
fun
not
part of
punching
it.
down.
Sorry. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Is that what you're supposed to do? Damn it. Fuck. No wonder I've been doing it so badly.
This episode is going to be all about things that we both said wrong that will
This is where I just get canceled. I'm so ready
no, I was
for
gonna
it.
say, but it's not going to be next week. It's going to be when like something in 5 years like explodes in your career, and then
Yeah.
this episode resurfaces, and it's like thing after thing. But okay, so wait, rewind for 1 second. What you were saying about punch right before the punching up thing got us derailed.
I was just saying I think comedy is I struggle with this because I think we've probably both been to mics, right? Or shows where there's like really homophobic material. And I think you and I both bring a lot of like our queerness to our material. But I also still kind of want those awful voices to be in the room because like I want to be able to say some fucked up shit too, right? Like comedy is like revealing bad, unsavory sides of ourselves. Even Chris Fleming, like one of the people that are blowing up right now, he just says like the most like salacious thoughts he has in very unique ways that land with the audience. So I think that's the really
I think
interesting
I also
craft
like
challenge.
for me I think I'm not like I'm not interested. I've never been interested in like Andrew Dice Clay like shock comedy or like
Hmm.
people who are trying to piss everybody off. I'm not, but I do enjoy establishing very early on in my set that I don't know anything. Like I'm the dumb shit. Like
Yeah,
I love a joke
that's really smart of you.
where
Really.
it's where it's like oh he like where the audience is like oh he doesn't get it, and then we can all laugh at me, as opposed to I think that's part of it too is I come from the Conan O'Brien school of no laugh at me, not
Mm,
me make fun of somebody else. But going back to what you were saying about writing for other people, in that same writing session with that straight comic who I was helping write roast jokes for, he helped me figure out the closer to my special, which ended up being a straight guy's reaction to the gayest, most raunchy story I tell in the special, because of course the closer. And what was fun about that was like sometimes like it's so hard to pick, especially for a special, like what you close with. Like you really want to
hmm
go on off of the bang. And I thought like, oh my God, he gifted me something that was so something I couldn't have possibly come up with myself because it was his perspective of my shit. And it
hmm
was like and I think for anybody in the audience who was watching, who was listening to me and being like, I don't relate to any of this, it gave them a perspective. But one of the things that I learned early on in doing super gay material
hmm
was that the straight guys would laugh first. I thought they would be
mm.
the ones I was alienating. And in fact, what they were, this is my theory, I can't speak for them, but I think they were looking at me going, oh, we have more in common than I thought. He's
Yeah,
just as dumb and horny as me.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Is that
and
your
I
next
think it
special
was
title? Dumb and horny?
dumb and okay. You know what? Writing it down because
Yeah,
you
that's a
know
pretty good special, and I'll sue you for that. So I'm gonna get.
no. This is a collaboration. I will give you a cut. Why do you go right to being litigious
I'm a
when we can
very litigious person by nature.
lit?
No.
Wow. By the end of this episode, we're gonna have lawsuits against each other and lawsuits coming in at both of us. So at some
If
point, we're gonna
and
have to
our
figure it
career
out.
will be thriving. Also, I love how energetic you are. I don't meet a lot of other comics that are like as bombastic and energetic too. And
You know, it's
I'm
so
usually the
that's
crazy like one, and it's really fun to see. So I really like that
well,
about you
that's really
too.
funny that you say that because two comedians I know so we're talking at a party.
Yeah.
I was just told this story
Is
a
this
few
a
years ago.
joke? If this is a fucking joke setup, no kidding.
No,
Two comedians
no,
walk into a party, you know.
no. That actually is a good setup, but the setup. But no, and you sound like my therapist who's always like, "Are we doing material? Let's
Yeah.
do it." But there were two comedians talking about me at a party, which is all I ever want. And and one of them was like is somebody who I look up to a lot, and so that's why I was really interested in it. And one of them was my friend, and one of them was somebody I really look up to a lot. And
That you're like, it's not my friend who I look up to a lot,
right? No,
Yeah.
no, I do look up to this friend, but But so of course I was like, this comedian who I look up to is like notorious for forgetting everybody that they've met like millions of times,
God, I
like
want
just
to know
always
who
forgetting.
this is now.
So I said, so I just said like I was like, oh, like so my friend was like, oh, I brought you up, and I was like, oh, I'm sure she didn't remember me, even though we've seen each other in recent weeks, like
That's a
and
clue. It's a she. We're getting closer. Okay.
wait, why the fuck you've given me so many side laughs? I don't even know why I'm telling this story. What were you saying just before that?
Oh, nobody knows anymore. We'll have to play back the tape.
All right, you know
Yeah.
what? That was a clever play to get me to stop telling a story about me and start talking more about plugging your projects, which we're gonna get into.
Well, I do want
Go
to,
ahead.
and
Oh, you said I know what it was. You said I was energetic.
okay.
This is what it
You
was.
are. You are.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what I would be like if I didn't smoke so much weed? This is
Do
me.
you?
I smoke so much weed. I haven't smoked. I'm traveling, so not today or yesterday. But like, if you catch me on a regular day in LA, I have a ton of weed in me, and
That's
this is still what comes out. I know.
that's
Uh,
awesome. How
but
do you
so
did you hear Seth Rogen said he's high all the time? He's like smoking 24/7 and he's like it's
that's kind
chill.
of his brand, right?
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You
Uh,
don't give weed, I have to
that's the
say,
thing.
and that's a compliment.
And I've been doing it for so long, we don't know what this would be like without it, and we don't
Yeah.
want to know. So so predictably, my friend was like, "Hey, you know Rory James," and this comic was like, "Rory James, that sounds familiar." And I said, "Oh God," I was like, "What did you say? Gay comic so loud, never wears sleeves except on stage." And my friend said, "Close." I said, "Beautiful gay man, really hyper." And I was like,
Aw.
going back to what you said about but like my voice before, I can some people will go right to the knock. I just hear the nice thing. And I'm like, cuz you know what? But it's funny. It's funny that to me that people experience me as hyper, cuz that was why I told the stories that you said I was energetic. But I think you're pretty energetic on
I
stage.
am. That's why it's nice. That's but whenever somebody like has equal or when somebody has equal or higher energy than me, I just turn into like a little beta bitch. So I'm just sitting back right now. But usually like it's because I feel the need to fill the space, as
I
most
can't
comics do. I'm sure
I
you can
can't
relate.
tell. I can't tell if you feel threatened by me or you want me to dominate you. I
No,
can't tell.
well, yes. I think the answer is why do they porque no los dos? No, I really like how gay you are in your comedy, and and the reason I reached out is like you're just very openly, outwardly gay about with your material, but it's not your whole identity, and who cares if it is? I just saw Zach Noe Towers special, and I'm kind of wrestling with some of the stuff that I've heard you talk about of like, do I be super gay? Is it not relatable enough? What a great special. So fucking gay, so funny. Like his whole thing is just like very the gay male experience, but people could still really relate to it. Like I listened to it on the way down to LA and yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate you a lot as a comic. So it's really cool to meet you.
Okay, well, more nice things.
I
I would
know,
love
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm never this nice. I don't know what's going on.
Well, listen. So I have talked about it a lot, and it was something that I do think helped me in my own erasure of internalized homophobia of childhood is saying these and it's so funny now because when people bring it up I'm like I've been doing this for so long, like once you reach a point of no return, I would imagine it's what it's like to do porn, where like once you've done
Yeah.
porn, like, well,
Yeah.
now I've done porn, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I might as well do
And
more
that's
porn.
your next venture. So,
Yes.
after comedy, right?
I do not mean this as like a oh I'm so hot thing, but like
Yeah.
for a while it would bother me when people would be like, "Where's the OnlyFans? Where's the like?" As though like I would like need to do that. And then at this point, I've just decided to be like, pay to go to my show. You know what I mean? Like if you want to pay, like pay. I've got things to sell. It's not going to be
Yeah.
that. You know?
Also, if you can do OnlyFans and you wanted to, then go off, girl. And also they're doing comedy specials now. I just saw a straight comic is doing a comedy special on OnlyFans. I'm like,
Well,
whatever.
you know what? That's the thing. And so, but yes, the gay shit is, and I
as
want to
we
get
as we
into
refer to it.
well, yeah, that was very Boston of me. But I do think that It's not to me about. So my first really serious boyfriend was is 15 years older than me, and he came up in a time where he was and is pretty gamous, but like of a generation where in a preheated rivalry world, like he really had to. It was like he wasn't a comic; he's an actor, but he had to be part activist, part actor because being gay, particularly at that time, was inherently political. And I don't, and I'll never be one of those people that's like, I don't mean to get political because I am happy to get political. But what I did want to be, and because yeah, being gay still is political, but I do not want it to be my entire identity. Because to just be dismissed as the gay comic in the room, which I am sure you have been and I have been, because ultimately you get used to being reduced to a cartoon of yourself.
I think like what bothers me about it, I was on like this open mic where this guy had just done a bunch of like violence against women jokes and stuff. And then like I went up and did my set, and there were a few things about me being gay. He's like, I just think it was like a little gay for me. Like I don't think I could relate. And I'm like, it's my life. Like I don't really care if you can relate or not, right? Like
He
my
said
life is
that after
valid, my
you. He said
experience
that on stage after you went up.
after I went up because it was like a feedback thing. And then some other gay comic went right after me, and he just happened to be gay and like did his set and talked about gay stuff. And I was like, oh, it was a really great set, but it was just like a little too gay for me. And then I hung up, and like, it was like an online virtual mic. It was funny. I got him back, but I think the critique of like, oh, all you talk about is gay stuff, or like you're too gay. I'm like, we don't say that about straight people or their lives, you know? So why do we say that about the gay lives? It's fucked
And
up.
they've been saying it about the women for forever. All you do is talk about your
Exactly.
pussy and your period. Well, that's what's
Right.
going on, motherfucker. And if you're so fucking straight, why don't you want to hear about my pussy?
And also, every straight guy always talks about blowjobs and dicks more than I do. I'm like, okay, girl, like I'm the gay one. I don't have any jokes about dicks in my set. Like you
I
can go try it, you know?
I it's interesting. I haven't I was fucked with
This is just
in
us yelling about straight comedy right now, all of a
well,
sudden.
no, I think it's yeah, it is now. Well, at
Yeah.
least at least we're not saying things that'll get us in trouble. I think because in middle school and the beginning of high school, before I had all of this naturally produced testosterone,
Hmm.
I didn't know how to hit it back, and now it's like I overcorrect. Again, going back to how it's not really that funny when I'm angry because I have such an overabundance of said of naturally produced hormones that like if I was in a situation like that, like my eyes go black. Here's a great example. Somebody oh I have a premise of an older joke that's
I'm gonna
about
steal it.
what's that?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
please.
steal it. Yeah.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can actually because the premise is it's very true. When I was starting out in comedy, I couldn't write jokes about, hey, I know what you're all thinking. I know what you're all
Yeah.
thinking because
Mm.
there wasn't consensus about me. And it was true when I came out originally, which was half of the people were like, well, yeah. And half of the people were like, what? Like, what? And I had a joke that was, some people it's essentially like some people are surprised to find out that I'm gay, and
Hmm.
somebody in the audience who I don't even think was trying to heckle me, I think was just responding naturally and laughed at that premise, and my eyes went black. We have the audio recording, and
Wow.
it makes my straight male comic friends laugh so hard because of how 0 to 100 I go. My eyes go black, and I go. I stop what I'm saying and I look at this person directly into their eyes and I say, I will pistol whip you with my cock. And it was
Wow.
such an overreaction. And it was also like, I could have just not acknowledged it, but it's a perfect indication of like how quickly, obviously, it hits a
Yeah.
nerve. But
Yeah.
okay, so let's get into your comedy origins because you are now okay. So I am, as we mentioned before, I'm coming at everyone from Seattle. I'm on the road. You're based, so I flew over you. You're based in the Bay Area, but you had been down in LA with your new show. You're originally from the South. Can you take us through your where you lived story?
Yeah, I have lived in 16 different states because my dad served as a bipolar. So the unmedicated branch is my new
That's a
bit
good
that I'm
show.
trying.
That's a
I'm
really good
trying.
show.
It's got to be better. But yeah, he was in the Navy, but he's just like moved us around a ton. But he is from New Orleans, and a lot of my life was in the South, like New Orleans, Mississippi. Um, Missouri, which like some people consider the South, some don't. I figured I would split half and half. So yeah, mostly around there. And then I went to college in New York. And I don't know if you know this, but like New Orleans people have similar energy to like East Coast people. Like you just rag on each other. Are you Italian too?
So I went to college in New York as well. I am
Where'd
mostly
you go?
Irish, but where I grew, I went to NYU.
Oh, me
I
too. What's up, girly? Yeah.
really,
Yeah, I
yeah.
went to NYU nursing school.
Nursing. Well, then we might not have overlapped because it wouldn't have been. We would our programs wouldn't have had any. We
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
have had classes together. And it's such a fucking huge school. Isn't it funny when people are like, "You went to NYU? Do you know?" No, there was a million people there. I don't know. How
Yeah.
was I supposed to know anybody?
It's
But
it's also literally in the like one of the like number one cities in the world. It's like your campus is New York. There really isn't. It's like
that's
West
why
Village or
that
Washington Square. Yeah.
that was the biggest selling point for me was that I didn't want to be on a fucking quad in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to be in New York City. Just get me in New York City. That's all I wanted. I'm sure. I guess that's why at NYU they would say. Remember they would say, "Gay by May."
I do remember that. I do remember
Yeah.
that. I was already gay when I moved there, so it was a
Well, my
dream.
version of that is gay by the following December after the next one.
Oh, you came out. You when did you come out? Like sophomore
I never
year?
came out because I was never. I just started talk. I just when I started banging dudes, I started talking about it. But I was
We started
oblivious.
banging buds. Hot.
I know, but I didn't have an experience of like a nobody knows but me. I don't like. I don't
Yeah.
have the closet experience. I was just like, oh. But it's also very me to have been like oblivious. But anyway, we're getting off track of your story. So you grew up in the South. The joke about your dad is really funny. And then so you're moving around, moving around, moving around. When do you know you want to go to school in New York?
So I was at Arizona State. I started college out there, and then I was there. I started out as I was a nerd growing up, and I'm not anymore. My boyfriend is a nerd. He plays way too many board games. I'm like, that's a real nerd. Like 8 hour long board games. I know that I'm the quiet one today. I can't sit still either, and I don't think you could sit still for that long either. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, aren't they like they go on and on?
They go on and on. And like I'm like, I have to sit here for an hour and not talk. Like I'm gonna kill myself. What are you talking about? Like I
How
need
long
the
have you been with your
validation.
girlfriend?
4 years.
That's long.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Good for
we'll
you.
see. Because I might want to move. He doesn't want to move. So we're all figuring that out. But we're very
Well,
transparent about that.
let's get to that part. So then what happens after you graduate from college?
So graduate from college, moved to San Francisco because I wanted to work in I was working as a nurse.
You
I was
want to
working
work
night
in gay.
shift. I wanted to work in gay, and so I moved to San Francisco. I moved, and then I wanted to work in tech. I thought, turns out everybody's far too autistic for me in tech. No, I'm kidding. I am too, just a different type. And I did it for like 7 years. Went through a COVID divorce. So, like any good comedian, you get divorced, you turn into a comedian. But I
Wait, so
realized
prior to that,
like
you weren't doing stand up.
I wasn't. No, I've only been doing stand up for about 2.5 years now.
Because the other thing that I sort of didn't realize as we were going super fast because we're so gay is that you weren't at NY. A lot of like my
Can you
friends at
imagine
NYU.
somebody listening to us on 1.5 speed? Because it's just going to sound like
Okay,
chipmunks. So it's going to be crazy, you know?
I was
Yeah.
on a podcast recently where like they that was speed like it made me think at first I was like, "Oh, I should speed up mine." Like I noticed it was being sped up and I was like, "Go good." And then by the end of the episode I was like, "I sound like I am on so much cocaine." Like I was like, "I hope
And you're like,
everybody
I'm
can
only
tell."
on like a moderate amount of cocaine. You know, I don't want
No.
people to get the wrong idea, you know?
Well, the joke that I do that's very real is that I've never done cocaine in my life because guess what nobody wants to see?
Yeah.
Me on cocaine. No. So okay, so wait. So you don't start stand up until COVID times, and you break
It's
up is
COVID.
like post COVID. So you break up during like lockdown times.
Like right afterwards, we get divorced. And
You were
then
married.
I was married. Yeah. Yeah. COVID divorce. And then
Very Southern of you to get married and like divorced by this age.
I know. That is a filthy read, and I appreciate it. Well done.
No,
Well,
I think it's
I should have a trailer park kid as well at this time.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't that. I was just. It's Southern people marry younger.
I like it. Listen, well, this is what I was trying to say is the Southern family tradition, which I think probably Irish people are similar. And I'm Southern Italian, is you just roast each other until one of you like loses, which is like goes home crying. And it's usually Aunt Sherry. She's not funny. So she always loses and ends up going home crying. So yeah, I was like, what do I want to do? I don't want somebody to feel depressed about being like divorced, and I don't want somebody to feel like shame about being gay. My favorite thing is when I just make a group of friends laugh. And so I finally decided to try stand up. My first show was in LA,
Where?
the Ha Ha Club.
Oh, of course.
I know. I
Featured
know.
in Hacks. Featured in Hacks. Deborah
Was it?
Banks. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Can now let me give you a compliment. You seem like you've been doing stand up for way longer than that.
Oh, well, that's very sweet of you. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So
Um,
okay, so you're in San Francisco, but you do your first show in LA, and then how soon before you're like, oh, I do this, like this is something like identifying as a comic, as opposed to just like, oh, I did an open mic, that was crazy.
Pretty much immediately because my good comedy friend Victoria like has done Second City for forever, and I guess something I don't even know what it was that I read, but she's like, "You're a good writer," and like snatched me out of the group and was like, "You're gonna be my friend." And then she's like, "You got to think like a business person. You got to get like this." And I was like, "I just did this for fun," and so she's always kind of pushed me to think more like grandiose and bigger terms. And so ever since I met her, like third week, and we hung out. I've been terrified into succeeding. So that's really working out well for me.
So it wasn't like an internal ambition. It was sort of like encouragement from people who saw something in you.
Yeah, it's really the external validation that gets me through the day. No, it's a little bit of both, I think. I am working on like kind of the like performing. I still have a lot of fear when I perform sometimes. It depends on the venue. I don't know about you. You've been doing it like 10 years now.
It's interesting. Yeah, no, I've been doing it for 11, and I think that
11, sorry.
at the begin, yeah, please apologize.
Yeah.
Um, you, I, I, I will say that there has been a point in this conversation where I've stared at the spelling of your name that is on the screen and thought, how would I know?
Listen, nobody knows. And I also don't say it much in my stand up, honestly, at all. So, yeah, because,
Well, it's a very common. Okay, so like the two like very common for particularly open like newer comics is as I referenced before. I know what you're all thinking. I'm
yeah, yeah.
this person and this person had a baby, and then the other thing is doing a name joke. But I have heard it said that the benefit of doing a name joke is people remember.
Hmm,
So,
yeah.
I'm just saying. But okay, so going back to
I
you,
just did my first look-alike joke, by the way. I just wanted to tell you
who'd
because
you say?
well, I just got a hair transplant a while ago. It's still growing in, but it's looking nicer now. But for a while, I was giving like meth head. So I was like, I just got a hair transplant and it's a little rough at first. That's probably why some guy was like, "Hey, you look kind of like a meth head." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I look skinny." Thank you so much.
I
Which
like
is like
that.
it.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. You write a good punchline. So here's the thing: is it's so funny how comedians will write material about stuff that other people don't admit. Like my friend Jess Singer, who's a really funny comic, has a really, really, really good new chunk about her breast reduction. And
Oh,
like just stuff that like, other people try to be like, oh, hope nobody knows. But like
yeah.
as comics, we're like, wait, like ding 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 ding, wait, like that punchline, punchline, punchline. Like and like God, I have some jokes like that too where I'm like, am I I have some jokes in the special about like, uh, going to my doctor for STD tests and like getting put through the shame spiral, and I'm like, am I really gonna? And I'm like, and like I've had comic friends be like, well, now you have to because it's there, and also to my point before, it can help you like own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got jokes about
Yeah.
it, got
Well,
to do them. Okay,
I told you I
so
liked your marine joke. Sorry, I don't mean to keep distracting you,
oh my
but
God,
I'm like
so
so
funny.
jealous about that.
So that's the vacation boyfriend joke, which is in the special, and I have all
Which
this
is also a
material.
very gay thing, a
What?
vacation boyfriend. Because I went to
So I've
Mexico
heard.
City and I was like, that's my Mexico City boyfriend. I met him on a gay tour. We made out, we hung out. They wanted to hook up. I didn't want to with the other guy. So I was like, no, thank you. And I call him my Mexico City boyfriend, and all my friends know who it is. And he is now a comic. So
Well, here's the thing about that though is that I think
such a
what's
crazy ending.
well,
Sorry.
what's actually gayer than that is just hooking up with a bunch of people on
Don't you one
vacation.
up gay me, Rory, right
No,
now?
no,
Not.
I'm one down in gaying you because I think that there's something sweet about like having dinner with somebody or like seeing each other multiple times. Like what's really gay is just hooking up with somebody at the bar and then like them ghosting you and then whatever. Like I think there is something kind of sweet to a vacation boyfriend. But
Yeah.
since the special, I've and this always happens is you write new jokes to add on to things that are already recorded and released. And I anticipated this, and so that happened to both the joke about the Marines guy and the vacation boyfriend stuff. And I have a whole new funny Washington D.C. boyfriend bit. And then I got to Seattle yesterday at noon.
You already found your Seattle boyfriend?
On a Seattle boyfriend. Don't
Wow.
have the don't have the joke
It's the
yet.
tank tops. It's the tank tops.
Well, it's very funny because when I landed at the Seattle airport, I looked around and I thought, "Oh, I'm not dressed like anybody here," because
Yeah, yeah.
everybody in Seattle is, of course, in a hoodie.
Yes.
But it is currently still very sunny outside, so I think I brought the Southern California there. But I want to get to your show because I know you want to talk about it, and I know it's got some heat on it. It's Luigi the Musical. Tell me how
Yes.
this came to be.
So yeah, this is my first play.
There it
Luigi the
is.
Musical. Yeah, there it is. There she is. It was the idea of Nova Bradford. She's also another Bay Area comic, and her, Andre Margotini, and Ariel Johnson and I all met in like the SF queer comedy scene. And at the Eagle, actually, Nova came up and was like, "Did you know?" Because we had like an open mic night at the Eagle. Do you know that like Luigi Mangione Diddy and Sam Bankman-Fried are all in the same prison? And I was like, no. And she's like, well, we should write a musical about it. It's like,
Wait, who's the
sure.
second person for people who don't know?
Sam Bankman-Fried, he is the crypto guy that did FTX, and he's like in prison. And he was actually, they were all three in the same prison at the same time.
Okay.
Later, the president of Venezuela was also put in that prison when he was brought to America. So it is a very high profile prison in New York City.
Okay. That is
Metropolitan Detention Center. Shout out, you know.
so that was like the origin of the idea.
Yeah. And then I always thought it was going to get caught by the news and blow up. Nobody else did. Turns out I was right. So then it went like super viral. And now it's going to go to Green Room 42 in New York. And they just announced the cast, which is very exciting, the New York cast. And then I've already written another one, which I'm really excited about.
So, but wait, I feel like we skipped the middle. So you were talking about like having the idea of it, and then like what's it like to write it, and how does it get attention?
Um, Sorry, I'm dying right now. So writing it is very fun. I don't have you written in like a writer's room with like a bunch of comics yet? I assume so, since you've been,
I've
or do you
written
prefer this
like I
solo?
no, I've written like I haven't written like a stage show or like a TV show with comics.
Okay.
I've written like jokes with comics, but I haven't written like a production.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. I really like it. It's very fun to like blend your voices and then like go through and see like a lot of times you'll be like, I think it could be something like this. Like an example, we were doing punch ups for a script for SBF, and I'm like, oh, what if he did like TED Talks, right? Like because we were doing character research on him, and it's like the tech bro. So then like I had the idea of like doing a TED talk. We looked up a video. Ariel Johnson, who's like the musical creator, wrote like a musical interlude and wrote all of the lyrics for him doing like a fake TED talk. And it's like a recurring gag that happens within the show. So it's just really cool to like throw the ball to somebody else, they complete it, throw it back to you. It's really, really fun. So we wrote
Well,
that. Yeah.
what I know about that is like writers' rooms. Like I know some comics who have written for talk shows or the Oscars or like events like that, and the idea of it being like you can't be too precious about like your jokes. It's sort of like the best stuff wins no matter who it comes from. Was that sort of the vibe?
We try to make it more just like what I do because I work in tech and then nursing too. Is like you always just have somebody like in nursing, you have somebody who calls the code, and in tech, you usually have like a decision maker. Where like Nova's the creator, so she's the head writer. So we would just kick disagreements to her, which like helps things move faster. A lot of the times it was like miniature things that we'd fight over, and then she'd just be like, I want it like this, and it moves the script on. So I guess no. So everything's boring and going to be terrible in the play, I guess is what I'm
No,
saying.
I think that that's just a different structure because it
Yeah.
allows it's a different way to make sure people don't get egos or hurt feelings or anything like that.
Right.
Um, so okay, so it started in San Francisco.
Yep. And we wrote it over like 3 months at my table for the most part. And then we booked a space in a theater. And then the New York Times, like correspondent, somehow stumbled upon it. So I like woke up one morning and I'm like, that's weird. That's probably like a subscription thing. And then I opened it and was like, we want to talk to you about Luigi the musical. And then we were like, freaking out. And then the SF Chronicle actually scooped the New York Times and like ran it. And the next thing you know, we're like international
So
news.
somebody from the Times had come to see it, and then
No, they even before it ran, they just wanted to talk to us about it. Like, and,
how did they find out about it?
the theater, the Exit Theater, like published it on their like listings, and I guess they monitored all of the local listings. Yeah,
Wow,
so yeah,
that's exciting. It's always exciting when there's organic buzz.
it was a trip because like as you can imagine, it's a controversial topic, and we really strive to be like neither pro nor anti. We're all about like why is it getting all the attention that case did
Right.
back in the day? Yeah, it really ruffled some feathers. So it was quite a scary experience to go through. We were rehearsing at a gay dental office in the Castro, and I was like, "Close the blinds! I don't want anybody to see us." Like,
Wow.
yeah, it was getting intense for a little bit.
Well, you would think that would be a safe space.
The gay dental, well, yeah, but it had a lot of windows, and I was very paranoid at the time with all the attention. I was like, somebody's gonna, dox me or something crazy like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so it's going to New York. So is that why you want to move? Do you want to move to New York?
No, well, I like LA's comedy scene more personally. I like LA a lot. I just did. Do you know Chad Damiani?
I know. I think I know the name.
He does like a lot of the clowning stuff, like Chris Fleming esque style comedy. And then I learned a lot from him. And then I also really like London, so I'm just kind of curious about both places.
They're
I just feel
very
like they
different.
support art. I know, yeah, LA and London, really. What
So it
makes you say
sounds like you're
that?
ready to leave the Bay.
I think there's like a point where I don't know if I'd leave full time, but yeah, I'm definitely considering like at least part time living outside the Bay in the next year. I might be taking an acting class in London later this year, which would be fun.
Okay,
So
so and then tell me about the other thing you wrote.
that is the Drill Master. I don't have this one framed yet, but this one's very cool. This is, you will like this. I think we both relate. The mostly true story of America's gayest founding daddy. And so that's him. That's the Baron von Steuben. Do you know him?
No.
Okay. So he wrote the entire military code of ethics that we still use to this day. George Washington like recruited him from France. He's a Prussian gay general. He came over with his French greyhound, his Italian greyhound, and his French chef, and then like whipped the entire army into shape. Was a polyamorous faggot the entire time. Super openly gay, and they erased him from history because he was gay. What kind of shit is that? I know. He could have been the Marine that you slept with back in the day.
I mean, probably wouldn't have been, but still could have been. And but I enjoy. I listen. I enjoy history, and I think it's cool that
Do
that's
you?
kind of your next. Yeah, I am a sucker for a political documentary or a historical
Okay.
documentary.
Well, if
And
you, I recommend this book. We based a lot of our history off of it,
I love
and it was written
stories.
by two gay artists, Levi Hastings and Josh Trujillo, and it's like a graphic novel about that time period. It's really beautiful, really good story. And oh, whoops, that page right there. You know?
I didn't see it. Was it something
Okay.
graphic?
It was not graphic, but it was definitely he was naked, so yeah, relatively graphic, I guess.
Well, is it gay if it's not naked? We don't know.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a lot going on, and I'm very excited for you. And I am super jazzed. What is there anything else you want to plug or socials or anything like that?
No, I just well, you can follow me at Caleb.Meringue. And then the Drill Master is the Drill Master Play, Luigi the Musical is the Instagram. But I just want to congratulate you on your big show in Boston because like I think a lot of the times we don't get congratulated enough, especially as gay men growing up. And I think it's really incredible. And I like hopefully we'll be out on the East Coast and would love to come see it. So
Oh, that's sweet.
I'd love to see you live.
Yeah, I mean the idea of it right now is just building out the road work and essentially proving myself as a headliner and being able to do that in not just my hometown but in other places but there is some symbolic
Yeah.
stuff about Boston, particularly given the historic homophobia of the region,
Yeah.
to come back and tell the jokes that I do on stage in front of those people who, by the way, like, as much as I give Boston shit for like giving me so much shit, like since my special has come out and all this stuff has been going on, like there has been a lot of love. So
Oh,
shout out to Boston, and I hope people come out to the show. And I would love to work with you on stuff and write with you on stuff because I feel like I feel like just from this
we
conversation
have good
alone.
energy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Listen, you guys, it's Caleb Zarang because I get it right now.
You did. Thank you.
Listen, the evolution of a comedy friendship. It's all happening, you
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Follow him on socials, please. And until next week, you guys, stay super excited. That was so
We
fun.
thank you. Yeah.